This week's parsha, Parshas Va'er, we read about the makkos. Most of the makkos are found in this week's parsha. 7 of the 10 makkos are in this week's parsha. 8, 9, and 10 are in next week's parsha. And one of the makkos that we read about in this week's parsha is the makkah of Barad. The makkah of Barad was the magical hail that fell, the hail, the ice together with the fire. But there's an interesting point about the hail. Moshe Rabbeinu told Parah, and Hashem told Moshe told Parah, that only those animals that are outside will be struck by the hail. If the Egyptians will bring their animals inside, their livestock inside the houses, they will not get damaged. And then the pasuk says in pasuk Chaf and Perek Tes, Hayores Dvar Hashem Avdei Parah, those who feared God, those who feared Hashem from the servants of Parah, they gathered their servants and their cattle into the houses. I don't remember who I heard this from, and if somebody, maybe one of you, one of the listeners know who said this word, maybe will tell me who it is, and I'll be very grateful for a source for this explanation. I heard it many years ago. What does it mean that Hayorez Var Hashem? The Pashup Pshat is they understood that Moshe meant business. Don't start up with Hashem. Just at least bring your servants and your cattle into the house. They shouldn't get struck. But I heard a different shot. Maybe, perhaps, there wasn't enough structures in the whole of Egypt. There wasn't enough structures to bring in all the cattle that they had. It's a very dry climate in Egypt. Maybe they don't have storehouses. They don't have homes that are built for cattle. They don't have homes that are built for cattle. And they came to Moshe and said, what should we do? We want to bring our cattle inside. We don't see. You know what he said? So we have the opportunity, Baruch Hashem, to join hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Yidden. We're learning Daf Yomi. Not long ago we completed Maseches Eruvin. And Maseches Eruvin is full of all sorts of tricks that Chazal teach us to create walls, to create homes, to create enclosed spaces. You have lavot. You have two poles that are less than 3 tvachim apart. It's a wall. It's not a wall. It's a wall. Lavot. Good ask mechitzta. You make a wall 10 tvachim high, it goes up to the sky. Good achit mechitzta goes down. Pi tikra yered v'saysam. The end of the roof closes off. And you can make all these virtual houses using all these systems of love, of good asa, good achit. I heard an unbelievable word from Moshe Soloveitchik once. Moshe Soloveitchik said that from Switzerland, Moshe Soloveitchik, one of the founders of Yeshiva Taras Chaim here outside of Moscow, and he said the following. He said, "It says in the Gemara in Kedushin, Ketana in la yad." A girl who's under the age of 12, who's not considered an adult by Jewish law, she does not have a yad. What does it mean she does not have a yad? She doesn't have a hand. What do you mean she has a hand? Look, she has it. It means she cannot accept Kedushin. One cannot perform an act of Kedushin, an act of marriage with this girl because she can't accept the ring, she can't accept the money that you're giving her. And we look at this Gemara and we say, of course she has a hand. Come on, look at the hand. She has a hand. It means she doesn't have the power which the Chazal called that a yad. Said Moshe Soloveitchik, it's totally the opposite. You know what yad means? You know what hand means? Hand is not this physical organ on the person's body that has 5 fingers. Hand, in Torah, hand means a power to accept, and that's the real hand. Istakol b'raisu bara alma. First was the Torah. Whatever it says in the Torah, that's the real thing, and everything else is what's considered something similar to the real thing. But the real thing of the yad, when it says katana in la yad in the Gemara, that's what it really means. It means the katana does not have a yad. That's a yad. What we call a yad is something that looks like that yad. But this yad is not the real yad. That's the real yad. So the people, the Avdei Parah, who feared God, who feared Hashem, they listened to the Yidden, they listened to the Shir Daf Yomi Maseches Eruvin, and they said, wow, we can make a Tzuras HaPesach. That's not a wall. That's a wall. Believe the Jews. Hayorez Dvar Hashem. Believe the Dvar Hashem. Be cognizant that that's real. If we build those walls, we'll save our cattle. So only those who are willing to believe in the power of Chazal, and the power of the Torah, and the power of all these rules of good asaf, good achas, of love, of all the halachas l'meshvisina that we know, they were the ones that saved their cattle. They were the ones that were able to save. We have to understand that what it says in the Torah is real. What Chazal teach us is the real thing. I heard from my brother, Baruch Chaim, he should be well, from Lakewood. He told me the following story. We know that Rav Chaim of Brisk, he had many Talmidim, 3 of his Talmidim. One was his own son, the Brisker Rav, Rabbi Yitzchak Zev. Another one was Rav Isher Zalman, and the third was Rav Baruch Ber. And in historically, it's understood that Rav Baruch Ber was the most loyal Talmud of Rav Chaim. That whatever Rav Chaim said by him, that was like Torah Misina, that was absolute law. And the story goes, this is the legend that goes that Rav Chaim of Brisk once came into the room and his 3 students were standing there, and he said, the table is a cow. The table is a cow, and he left the room. And the three Talmidim started to discuss what Reb Chaim meant. And Reb Yitzchak Zalman, who was the Talmud of Reb Chaim, said, you know what he meant? The Rebbe meant that just like a table has 4 legs, so there's certain characteristics of the table that are similar to a cow. A cow has 4 legs, and a table has 4 legs. And the Brisker Rav was arguing and saying, no, my father meant something deeper. If he said it's a cow, he meant it was a cow. There's something more deeper. And while the two were arguing, Rav Baruch Ber, who was so loyal to his Rebbe, he was already leaning under the table to see how he could milk the table. The Rebbe said, it's a cow, it's really a cow. Okay, of course, it's only an allegory, it's only a mashal, but the point is that we have to realize that what Chazal teach us, what Chazal tell us, when they tell us it's so, it is such, this is a wall, this is considered a wall, this is considered a mechitza, they mean it, that's the real thing. And what we see in our world, we're so blinded by the reality of the fake world around us that we get blinded and we stop believing in the words of Hashem. Hayaris v'Hashem, that's the lesson of the Hayaris v'Hashem. Good Shabbos.